Welcome to another episode of the News Dash, where two full-time real estate agents turned part-time newscasters decides to bring you that bite-sized information of the real estate news, sometimes locally, sometimes globally, so that you can be updated. And you also can have some topics to talk about, right, in our coffee side chats, right? Before I introduce you to this man that's sitting right beside me, okay? If you are watching us on YouTube, hello to you.
Hello there.
Yes, hello there. And if you are watching us on Spotify, listening to us on Spotify, this is the Singapore's Real Estate Explained radio channel, okay? And you know what? We have been so loved the past few weeks. And you guys have made us so busy. And we really appreciate that. In the past month of May, the investment team has concluded more than 30 investment consultations for 30 individuals. I think we have gone for close to 60 to 70 appointments because there are so many of y'all who have watched our videos, want to know more about real estate investments and have come into, talking to us. But if you still don't know how to contact us, right? Two ways. Number one, please join our Telegram channel that's going to appear right here. Caleb, we can point at it. That's here. You can see the screen here, right here. That's right. And you know what? We started off Singapore's Real Estate Explained with like 0 subscribers. We are thinking whether it will, have traction. And the whole purpose behind that wasn't to gain, followers or anything, but just to really bring objective and real estate investment advice in the market, right? And till date, let me check. I think right now, right, we have... Let me see. We have.
1,000 plus?
I think it's 1,000 plus. You're right. We have a total of 1,100 subscribers.
Can't believe it.
On Telegram.
Insane,
right? And not only that, you guys have been contacting us on this number, which is our contact number, which is 8503. 503. And this is the number that we bought. We got a good deal, undervalued deal. I think it was like a few thousand, but I got it for like $80 or something like that, right? So that it's a number that's easy to remember. Okay, so we are going to start this week's News Dash. But before that, let me introduce this man beside me, right? So many of you may not see him as a familiar face because this is his debut video.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Wow. It's quite amazing.
Yeah.
I think for a long time, I've been like behind the scenes. And to be honest, I was kind of comfortable. I was enjoying myself at the back end. To be fair, to be honest,
yes.
Yeah, but I'm very excited to come on today.
And honestly, he's very nervous because just some people they're not comfortable in front of cameras, right? But you know what? Proud of you.
Thank you.
He stood out of his comfort zone and he decides to say, I say now, it's time for the investment analyst to come out. So for you who don't know, every single piece of real estate investment article, whether it's the content of the slides, whether it's the webinars that we come out with, whether it's the research that we have done till the polynomial regression, is none other than by this guy and the investment team that's behind the scenes. So Caleb is one of the investment analysts on board the team, and he has been religiously writing those articles with the editorial team. He has been doing the research. He has been doing we have a lot of late-night conversations about real estate investments, right?
Definitely.
So why not just share with people, before I share with everybody the narrative of how I know you and who you are to me, because we are deeper than analysts and Jervis kind of relationship. But why do you enter real estate investment? And that passion is insane, right?
That's a very interesting question because it's kind of ups and downs in my life that eventually ended up in real estate. But just a little bit of background about myself.
Yeah.
Previously, I was actually in secondary school. I was the same classmates as Jervis. We were very close friends.
Sec 1.
We love to play basketball.
Absolutely. Karaoke as well.
Karaoke. Sometimes we play basketball in class. We throw, paper balls
into the
projector.
Dustbin or projector.
Yeah, that was fun times.
Yes.
And then subsequently, I went into law school. Funny enough, the same law school as Jervis. So we actually studied together. Although I went in slightly earlier. Yeah. And we studied law together. And it was through studying law that I actually discovered what I was really passionate in, which was not really law.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the rigor of law, but in terms of my interest still lie in investments lah.
Yes, and I remember fondly that when you were doing your first semester in law school, you're like, yeah, it's so fun. And then we hit it on to the second semester, you're like, this is not for me. I'm still not sure whether I want to do law. Second year is like, you know what, bro? Are you thinking about entering law school? Because it sucks, right? And that's the same sentiments for me. Okay, I didn't feel that law school sucks. I feel that law school really trained the way we thought, the logical process, which is very important and instrumental in the way we analyze investments as well, because it has to make logical sense, right?
Definitely.
And I remember you telling me that, you know, Jervis, since young, I'm always very intrigued by how the world works. And I asked you, okay, there are so many things you can read about, right? Aristotle, Socrates, you can read the Bible as well, right? But and yeah, of course, a Christ follower. But you know, you're someone who said, no, I want to know how the global economy works. I want to know investments. And you know, that was when Caleb was around 18 years old. He's 27 this year, and I was like, because then I
getting old already.
Yeah, 10 years, right? And that were like, I was like, wait, why do you want to even know about real estate? Investment. Okay, this is not an interview for Caleb, but I think it's important for us to know a little bit more about Caleb so that, you know, you can get to know the man behind the scenes, right? So, yeah. So, after that, what happened?
So, I was amazed because during law school, actually, I was also spending quite a bit of time with Jervis, right? He was juggling both real estate and law.
Yeah.
And I actually see the things that he went through.
Yeah.
And personally, for myself, my family actually managed to buy a very, very good property, and it made money.
Yes.
It made a lot of money. It gave us a lot of security.
More than $500,000 in investments.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So that actually is one of the reasons why I found that, you know, if people actually know about real estate investments, it can really help their families.
True.
Have security, spend time, you know, not have to worry about finances all the time.
Absolutely. And I think you came from the beneficiary of that, right? Chris shared his story, and you know what's so amazing is this, you know, that the team stands for objectivity in investments, right? The team is looking for what is that true opinion in the market. And that drives us on a daily basis. And I'm always so happy. Caleb and I, we were best buds ever since we were in secondary one. And I you know, Chris and I, we were also best buds ever since we were in primary school. And to be able to know that we are fulfilling this calling of bringing objectivity and the alternative opinion investments, not for the sake of being significant, neither is it for the sake of, you know, getting more clients, even though we appreciate that and we really have been bombarded by so many inquiries.
Very shagged recently.
It's really tiring recently.
Very tiring.
I think the past week, just this week alone, we have completed close to 23 specific buy-side appointments. And we have completed also, so many sell-side appointments. You know, last night, I just ended the day at like 4 a.m. My last viewing was at 12 a.m.
It's crazy. It's
insane.
Crazy.
And, you know, I've told myself that we want to start sleeping earlier. It's not easy. I told myself last night that the day ended at 9 p.m. I was like, oh my God, first time I real estate business, the day ended at 9 p.m. It's like, you know, you have that feeling of, I don't know what to do next. And then after that, I was like, okay, then there's a deal that needed my attention. 12 midnight was the appointment. We almost closed the deal. They didn't close the deal eventually because there's something that happened to the client and we empathize with that. Okay, so I think you already know a little bit more about Caleb, right? Now, let's start on our news dash. Okay, so first up, bring good news to a lot of tenants out there, right? Real estate, Singapore's rental growth expected to moderate for the rest of this year, right? Tell me more about this.
So there are actually multiple experts that have given their opinion that rental is going to start slowing down.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look back in the last year, there is somewhat post-pandemic period. There were a lot of the rental prices were actually surging quite a bit, and there are some reasons for this, lah.
Yes.
So, for example, right, delay in completion of new condos because of the pandemic, right? Increasing number of those who are renting larger apartments for working from home. Return of foreign employment as well. So many of these reasons, and last but not least, we also have rising interest rates.
Yes.
So if you so some may not be aware, but interest rates are actually will affect rental prices a lot, and the reason is because, right, interest rates affect how much mortgage a landlord pays. And why the landlord wants rental, at the very least, right? I mean, a lot of landlords want to make money, but at the very least, they want to break even. So they have to ensure that their rental is of a certain amount in order to be able to cover the mortgage. So because of high interest rates, they have to raise their rentals.
And one amazing thing about this is that, you know, in the past, real estate used to have this thing called positive net carry, right? Where you have positive cash flow upon every single real estate that you sell, that you buy. And that's why people love to be landlords. Because, you know, if I own one property, I can get $2,000 to $3,000 more on top of my mortgage, right? But right now, you know, what you mentioned, breaking even or potentially negative cash flow is also a possibility and there's a potential, right? But in the past few years, that's what you have pointed out very accurately, which is due to, the increase in foreign laborers in the country, foreign workers in the country, the delays of BTO completion. Or I think we faced that a lot because all our friends around us during the whole pandemic season of 2022, 2021, people were like, okay, Jarvis, should I buy a resale HDB? And that time resale HDB prices are sky high. So we were like, no, you should rent first. And then you're like, oh my God, rental prices are so high, right? Yeah. So that being said, right, Caleb, who wrote this? Because this news are actually summarized by main news sources, right? Not from JNA Real Estate, because we are not a news media company. We are a media production company in real estate tours, but we are not a news media company. So who wrote this and what is actually the summary of this? What will happen to rental prices in the next year? So
this was actually from a CNA article. It actually mentions that rental growth can slow about 5% in the second half. Yeah. And overall annual increase of 10% to 15% by Bloomberg intelligence analyst Ken Fong. Yeah. So these are people who have some experience. But Singapore market is, I would say, can be quite different from different overseas market as well. Yeah. So different factors can come into play when you're looking at whether rental will increase or decrease in the future. Absolutely. Than the rest of the year, especially. Yeah.
So one thing that we want to emphasize is this, right? Sometimes when opinions in newspaper or media outlets, right, the opinions are just opinions, right? Don't just jump into the conclusion that this is absolutely correct. We use Realist URA data, and also we use a lot of data from SingStat to get to understand really, is there really a discrepancy from demand compared to supply factors, right? Certainly. This year, a lot of people are talking about how rental prices will dip because of the increase in completed properties that's coming out, right? And that was the wave of new launches that came in just a couple of years ago, and they finally reached completion, TOP, right? And I think that is a blanket statement. That is too, that's a big assumption,
it's
right?
Generic. It's a generic. Somewhat speculative.
Absolutely. So I think that this news specifically pertains to two groups of people. One are the tenants, so good news to the tenants, but the other the landlords. So we serve a lot of landlords, way more than tenants, and it's not so good news to landlords, right? Because they have already enjoyed, right, the heydays of, wow, great rental, right? But I tell you what, the investment team has actually worked on the analysis for this. Yes. We have seen, we are analyzing demand and supply factors. So in the next video, if you're interested, join our Telegram group chat. We're going to send in, right, that video for you to be updated on really, will rental be affected? So just in case you're looking to rent versus you're looking to buy something for rental, which we serve a lot of resale buyers, yes, right, for rental, what is the right next move? All right. Great. Let's go on to the next one. Okay,
next one is interesting.
Whoa. I never like to talk about politics, but yeah, I think this is something that has been in the news for quite some time, right?
Yes.
Leader of opposition party, right? Of course, Workers' Party, Pritam Singh, requested for PAP MPs to file parliamentary questions, right?
Yes.
About the minister's rental for Ridout Road, right? And I think there are two ministers who are in question, right? Yes. One is Vivian Balakrishnan, and the other is, of course, Shanmugam, right? So
yes.
Let's talk about this, yeah.
So actually, both Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan and Minister Shanmugam actually have already rented this 2 colonial bungalows for a couple of years already.
I heard this since 2021 actually. So they just renewed their lease.
2018. Yeah, they just renewed their
2018.
Lease. Yeah.
Then they renewed their lease after 5 years.
Okay, so specifically, right, for Mr. Shanmugam is in 2018. This is actually a SLA statement. They actually mentioned that all of the rentals of the SLA properties were performed in full compliance with their procedures. So for Mr. Shanmugam, it was from 2018, he was the only bidder, and his offer was higher than the guide rent, which was not disclosed to him.
Absolutely.
And then for Mr. Dr. William Balakrishnan, he also put a bid in 2018.
Yes.
And it was also above guide rent, and it was also not disclosed to him.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So just a little bit of backstory, a little bit of background about colonial bungalows. Essentially, these are just bungalows that the British built in the very early 1900s when Singapore was still a colony.
Yes.
And then after they left, they sold it to the Singapore government.
Yeah.
And eventually, the Singapore government demolished most of it because to make way for more modern apartments just took out a lot of space.
And also that's when our new GCBs are in the market
Yes.
Okay. And these SLA colonial bungalows are not in the open market for sale, right? They're just kept for like high officials in the country, or even like high CEOs, right? Just to rent for rental, right?
Yeah, it could be used for both commercial and residential.
Absolutely, okay.
For private use.
Yeah, tell me more. I'm enjoying the history of such Korean bungalows.
I think that's about it. That's about it for
them. Yeah, really great. Okay.
But I just want to share something, right?
Yes, please.
From what I've seen of the sentiments of people online, their concern could be that they're wondering, a lot of them, don't quote me on this, but what they are wondering is why the ministers can be able to afford these. And the reason why I think is because these colonial bungalows, interestingly enough, according to SLA data, right, the bungalows rented out to Dr. Vivian has a land area of 136,000 square feet, whereas the other one, data could not be found, but the combined land area is actually 525,000 square feet combined with the one at 26 Ridout Road. Yeah, so both of them.
And I think that what I heard is that the combined rentals or even the individual rentals for each of the good class bungalow is going at about $1 million a year, right? And I think this is quite scary for Singaporeans because people are feeling that, what? You're paying $1 million for rent? But once you're in the GCB market, you understand that there was even someone who paid $250,000 a month for rent in the market, and the land area is way smaller than what the ministers are having. Okay, I know that it's quite sensitive to comment about politics, but here I'm going to say this. Okay, scary. Right? Okay, personally, I feel that it's important to honor our leaders. Okay, we don't know how much they go through behind the scenes because, when a minister has to do what he has to do, it's very hard for them to make it known what they're doing for our country. And knowing that they're not paying $10 million for rent and it's just like market price of $1 million, right? I feel that it's fair knowing that the land size is really, really big. And why I have worked with some high ultra high net worth or well-connected individuals in Singapore who knows ministers personally, may have come across some of them as well, where you understand that their home is not just for them to indulge in enjoyment, because their home is a place for them to ensure privacy and safety for their families. That's one thing. And that's also the reason why the land area is always bigger, because the building is usually all the way nearing to the end, so that there's security there as well.
Yep.
And secondly, it's for them to host a lot of the foreign counterparts.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And once you have that kind of business conversations, you don't see Dr. Villayan Balakrishnan or, K. Shanmugam at Hilton Hotel talking openly with some foreign diplomats, right? So they either talk, at official places or their homes. And I think that is just things, the benefits that we don't see in the nation. But I totally understand why the opposition party wants to ask questions about it, which I believe our Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong who unfortunately recently had COVID, right, has agreed to say, okay, let's open it up, because that's just the transparency of Singapore politics.
Actually, interestingly enough, it is both of these ministers who actually approached Prime Minister Lee to ask for a review.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's because,
one thing I respect about Singapore politicians, and I think not everybody agree with me on this, because that's just how much I know about Singapore politics, right? Just how much, right? Is that I think they are all really men of integrity. So when it comes to reviewing anything, they are perfectly fine with that. And we know a lot of our friends who have gotten PSC President Scholarships since they were young. And we knew their character since young, there are always people who are definitely going to get the scholarships, right? Yeah. All right, let's talk about the next news, Caleb. The reserve residences. Wow, now I feel finally I'm in my zone, because it's real estate, right? Politics. I love reading politics, but I'm not someone who I dare to comment about politics. Okay, so the reserve residences sales gallery drew nearly 6,000 on preview weekend. And I think that out of the 30 customers, the clients that we've met, right, there were at least 1/3 who asked us about reserve residences as well. So tell me more about this. What happened? Yeah.
Certainly. So reserve residences actually drew almost 1.5 times more than Blossoms by the Park, which drew about 4,000 preview on the preview, and about 70 plus to 80% was sold on the launch day. Yeah, so it's quite clear that reserve residences is very popular in District 21, and so one of the things, if you take a look at D23, some of the past developments, more recently, like for example, you have Foret, you have Mayfair Modern, and Mayfair Gardens. They came out in 2018, 2019. These are actually quite close to, all these developments are actually quite close to the reserve residences. And their initial uptake is really high. And as of now, they're all sold out.
Yes. And the PSF then actually, unfortunately, is Some even close to 1,000 PSF lower than reserve residences. And I think reserve residences, we have done the video which have garnered a lot of views, and I think a lot of people are telling us, they really appreciate it because a lot of the buyers are coming up to say, how do we choose units, right? And I think reserve residences is something that it is known as a blockbuster project of the West, and because there's a transport hub there that's going to be it's an integrated development with plenty of shopping centre, and of course, one of the key cornerstone to Singapore's builders, right? Far East Organisation and developers, right? We are apprehensive of the pricing. I wouldn't make comment whether we should buy or we should not buy. We're apprehensive of the pricing, and also there's a reason why during balloting day, even though a lot of our clients went down, most of them decided to go for other options instead. For now, right? For now, yeah. Yes. Do I think that it will be a sellout? Eventually, it'll definitely be a sellout because this is how Singaporeans buy, right? Usually, I think that the reserve residences actually ticks a lot of boxes for the qualitative aspects. Yeah. You have mixed development, right? Very, very close to the MRT. Yep. Right. You have upcoming land bid coming up as well. Yes, we have upcoming land bid. There's actually smaller and residential and it's higher. In terms of break even. Yep. So quite likely that development. That land bid was sold in 2022. Most likely, it will also come up to about the same price. Absolutely, which will make the reserve residences more attractive. Not a reserve choice for many. One of our clients said that. He said reserve residence is not a reserve choice for many. We should use that for our thumbnail. Tagline, right? Unfortunately, it's already been posted already for quite some time. Okay, great. Yeah. So, as the opinion of the JNA Real Estate Investment team has always been like this: don't follow the hype of FOMO. Be opportunistic. Right, of course, if there are opportunities in the market, go for it. There's one particular project that we are gunning for. We're not going to say the name. All of our buyers are ready for that project because we saw the indicative pricing. It's interesting. It's a place that is very near to a place that I call home. And, we're waiting for the guide price as well. So every single time, it's like preparing for war. We don't prepare for war on how we can snatch up units. We prepare for war on how to act fast enough if the price is good. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Okay, let's go on to the next one, which is good news. Finally, I think this is amazing. Okay, a lot mixed reactions lah. Okay, some people are like, "Walao, 16 hours of CPD, 6 to 9 hours of CPD for agents in the past." CPD is like I don't know what it actually means, to be really honest, but CPD is like a upgrading course lah for most of the real estate agents, right? And it's evident and obvious that Singapore government and even the CEA is doing their best, right, to just improve the quality of agents in the market, and we really appreciate that. Yeah, I think partially one of the reasons is that there's a sudden influx of new agents, right? Yeah. What do you think? So, as a you've seen a lot of new agents recently. Yeah. What do you think is like a common reason why they want to join? I think it's not a hard question, right? Of course, people come because they see the alluring commissions that we can get to earn, right? But they don't know that, consecutively for months, we have been pulling, I wouldn't say all-nighters, but we have been working till like 2 past 2 a.m. Even on a birthday, you're working as well, right? Yes. Which is on the 20th of May. We're still preparing content for our shoot on Monday. And these are sacrifices that people don't see happening. And I think people are just allured by the potential commission coming in. There are celebrities that are coming in as well, right? And I just want to say this, right? Yes, maybe if you are someone with great network, you can come in, you can serve them, can make good money sometimes. But I've calculated the time to reward ratio in real estate, and it's not as high as some other industry, right? So don't see not everything that glitters is gold lah. Okay, and I think that just be a bit more careful coming in, because a lot of people sacrifice a lot just because of the hope of being a very successful real estate agent. Yeah. To those who are looking to join, maybe speak to someone who's already an agent and ask, what do they go through on a daily basis, what to expect. Yeah. Be more informed before you decide to take the plunge and take the real estate exam, which is also more difficult already now. Yeah, I think that's important because a lot of us last time came in thinking that it would be easy, but we're just so thankful and so blessed that we have supporters like all of you guys, right, who are like, coming in, talking to us, and this is how we get some of our clients as well, right? So talk to anybody, right, about this. Yeah. Is JNA Real Estate recruiting? We have greatly slowed down our recruitment because expansion is not what we're going for right now. We want to build more operations and depth in operations. But if you are someone who feel that you can vibe with the team, right, do come in. I think we are one of the only real estate teams in the market that goes through like 2 rounds or 3 rounds of meetup. Yeah, because we just want to spend time benefiting clients first. Then later on, our realtors will have confidence that, this brand stands for good things that my clients wants to work with me for. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
So next question. Okay. Wow. Commercial side. Just last night, I was negotiating a shop house that is at $23 million. And commercial has been on a rise, right? And this buyer of mine was a local buyer who were looking for some big floor plates, GCBs, but trying to put some of his cash into commercial as well. So commercial site in downtown core relaunched for collective sale at 260 million. I heard that this particular plot, which is very near where Tiong Bahru is, right? Which I'm saying here is Ho Chang Road and Lim Teck Kim Road, restarted their bidding actually on May 17 because they started their bidding actually on 1st, I think Jan, and there were no bidders.
Yes. I think one of the reasons why I think it could be possible why they want to restart and at the same price is because of the ABSD.
Absolutely. The increase of ABSD for foreigners, because commercial is an asset that don't have to pay ABSD and there's no SSD.
Yeah. Second, properties also. Yeah. So people who are looking to who already have, for example, their first property for investment, residential. Yep. For investments, they are looking for a second property. It may not be as viable because ABSD is higher.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then they'll turn to look at commercial. So the commercial market is booming now.
Yes. And I recently met one of the top commercial agents in the entire market, and he showed me that all of 99% of his sellers are saying, let's increase price. Wait up, don't put the same price anymore immediately after the ABSD news. And we have to understand one thing. These commercial owners are mostly business owners who are opportunists themselves. So when it comes to bull market like this, right, or there's a boom in the market, it is important to be prudent and not just jump into it. But yesterday, the deal that we had, it was 22.5 million. And in the end, we are negotiating for a price tag that's around maybe 17 to 18 million. So $6 million, because that's where we get good lobang and good kang tao from, right? Yeah. So this particular site, I think one of the reasons why it can be attractive is because there is a possibility that this plot, upon approval, can be converted into a hotel, right? And one of the good things about hotels is that we can increase the yield greatly, right? We have worked with some buyers who trades hotel in Singapore, right? And one of the reasons why no one is bidding, I think, is because the pricing is very high. Okay, not talking about the PSF specifically, right? But rather the absolute quantum at $216 million.
Yes, it's considerably high.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. All right, that's it for News Dash for this week. Thank you so much for watching this episode of News Dash, where we have our brother over here, Caleb, who have his debut. And if you think that he did a good job, give us a thumbs up, right? And just WhatsApp number and say, hey, Caleb, you did a good job. I think everybody needs love, support, and assurance this season, right? If you're watching this, thank you for following us for a long, long time. We know some of y'all have been fans of ours for 4 years. We have nothing but love and thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all the support that you have given us, right? And, sounding so emotional because I've been flying quite a bit this year. Yeah, a lot. Like, I went to Ho Chi Minh 2 times, I went to Sydney, just came back, and I just want to help our followers and our community and all the clients that we've been serving, right? Understand the global real estate investment landscape a little bit, because this is how JNA Real Estate adapts when it comes to investments, right? So, I'm just so touched that even though we're overseas, our sales team, our investment team is still doing our best to serve our customers. And this is the heart posture of being in this team. How do you feel being in the sales team? I think you are in our sales force as well, right? So how do you feel being in the investment team?
I feel that everybody's quite different from other people that I've seen outside. They're willing to sacrifice because of the vision that they see and the value that they want to provide. Yeah. And it's incredible because it's a whole community. And we are all very, very tight knit. In fact, this morning we just had our first team sports, activity.
And which I unfortunately couldn't wake up because I slept at 5 last night, and then I told myself today I have 3 shoots. I have a deal that I hope to close. It's a $30 million deal later on. Later on, I have a business consultation with someone. So I said, okay, I'm so sorry, guys. I would love to. In the stage, I was saying, I thought I could end the day at 9 p.m., right?
Yeah.
But that's why we say that this is the strength of a millennial sales force. We don't have much obligations in our life when it comes to spending money for kids or anything like this. And this gives us us in that position where we can actually have the opportunity to self-actualize and to do what we think is good in the market, right? So if you're interested in any of our services, right, feel free to reach out to us through the number right here, right? And also join our Telegram community, right? We are getting ready for lobangs. Once we hit 1,500 subscribers, right, the lobangs will start coming in already. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this episode of News Dash by JNA Real Estate. And thank you so much for following this entire Singapore's Real Estate Explained channel series, blah, blah, blah. All right. This is Jarvis.
This is Caleb.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you really soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.